What up, world? And we live with it this morning, y'all. Got these little rapscallions. Good morning, Melvin. Good morning, my friend. Got these little rapscallions here. Obviously, they done had an accident. I gotta clean them up once I get done with this live. But yeah, they are riveting. They are rolling, y'all. They rolling. Ah, man. Yes, sir. They going to get their first shots today, y'all. They've had their first wormers before, but they're going to get their first shots today. Getting them vet checked. And then you going to take a trip. And you going to take a trip. Y'all know where y'all. She see her? She tried to get me. She tried to get me. Good puppies. Good puppies. Yeah, you a little nippy. You're a little nippy. Yeah. Yeah. They all getting a little full of themselves. They all getting a little full of themselves. Melvin, you see that one biting the thing right there? Mm-hmm. Yep. Nutty as squirrel shit. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah, this one's the nicest one. She's the most laid back one right here. This male right here, he's nippy too. This is my friendly. Quit that. Yeah, Melvin, she gonna fit your personality real well, man. Real well. When I leave out of this room, they like to tussle with each other and do stuff. Yeah, it's 7:58. Y'all know I like to start punctuality, so I just like to share the puppies with y'all early in the morning and let y'all see how they doing, There she go. Show 'em some mama. Show 'em some mama. Show 'em some mama. Yeah, push your way in there. Show 'em something. Good morning, Tony Montana. Good morning. Yeah, everybody give me y'all some time to get up in here, y'all. We start right at 8 o'clock on the dot. It's that coffee talk. I got my nice warm coffee in there cooling off, waiting for me to set up and really chop it up with y'all. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Why you want to beat up on my puppy? Why you want to beat up on the puppy? Quit that. You gonna beat up on my damn puppy? Yeah, that's them. That's the little rascals. Yes, sir. Well, y'all, it's approaching that time. It's 7:59. Good morning, Asiatic brother. Good morning. I hope we can have another great episode today. We're gonna chop it up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna really talk about some things I want to talk about. That growth and development, both as a dog man and as a man itself. Y'all know that even though Dre ain't number 33, turned 33 yesterday, birthday was yesterday, y'all. I ain't the most technologically savvy person in the world, but I figure it out, man. We'll make it work, man. We'll make it work. Yes, sir. We'll make it work. Let me adjust this thing so y'all can see my shirt. I'm proud of my shirt for today. Compliments of the wife. A good wife, hard thing to find, get you one. And if you got one, hold on to her. So I'm gonna tell you. Hey, I appreciate that, student for life. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. So much. Man, y'all don't even know, man. I appreciate that, Melvin. Thank you. Good morning and salute. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute. All right. And it's 0800. What's up, big dog? Y'all already know who it is. It's Dre. If you was in the chat already, then continue to rock with us and stay in the chat. Your input is much needed on all chats, and you're highly valued. Everybody is highly valued. There are some things I want to cover today, and we're going to rock with this episode like this. The title of today's episode is The Shepherd versus the American Pitbull Terrier, and this is your Wednesday morning coffee talk. It is April 5th, 2023. All right. For those of y'all who are just listening, y'all can follow along. For those of y'all who are watching, it's just me on camera anyways now. The puppies are gone. I only show them prior to the hour that we start the show. Additionally, I go back to work soon here. So when I go back to work, the coffee talk may be shifted to Wednesday nights if I work early morning, or may remain on the mornings where I work late. All right. So that's just an update for y'all. Additionally, I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Mr. Jaun Coyt. Senior Juan is down in Mexico, and he speaks Spanish. Tony M, if you're still in the chat, please let me know if I butcher this, but I want to say thank you to him in Spanish and make sure that I'm giving the proper respects needed. It says, Gracias, Señor Coyt, para la información y la tutoría, or tutoría. I'm trying to say thank you for the mentorship and tutoring, right? So that's why I shared that with Mr. Coyt, and I told him I would give him a personal shout out in the show. Additionally, I want to give it a shout out to my brothers, Walter Bryant, Aaron McFarland, Melvin Harper, JT Yard, Asiatic Brother, Rose Kendall's Behemoth Bloodline. Hey, thank you, Tony M. I appreciate that. Tony M, I look at you more of a mentor, man. Like when you watch my channel, bro, I just be like, man, like Tony M watching me. Real talk. Yeah, man, it's a lot of people, man. Like, Pelican Baby coming through sometimes, Thompson Kennels, 7-8 Sports, the whole panel, Mr. Richard Garcia, man, all these guys, man, just great legends in the game. Fat Bill being here sometimes, man, it's a lot of great people. My good friend at Apache Kennels, Mr. Arturo Limon. Big shout out to Art. Without Art, you don't get Samurai Bloodline. And a host of other supporters. Now, another piece of business I want to cover prior to going over today's itinerary is the Digital Dog Show. So I posted a video 2 Sundays ago with updates on the Digital Dog Show, and the video got flagged because I had music in there. I appreciate that, Student for Life Dog Training, for sure. Hey, you be having some good input in the chats. I seen you in Going Hard chat, and I also saw you at 7-8 chat. Keep doing what you're doing too. Like I see you. If nobody else is gonna tell you, I see all y'all. I see what y'all be putting in there. We all be in the same chats. We all putting in work. But as far as the Digital Dog Show goes, y'all, I'm gonna post another update video, and it's gonna be like not on my typical Sunday or Wednesday schedule. I'm gonna just post a bunch of update videos on that. So I'm gonna flood y'all timelines with it. I'm gonna flood Instagram with it. And I'm gonna flood Facebook with exactly how I want the submission to be done. All right? Because what's happening is I'm getting a bunch of like parts of videos, and I'm having to piece them together, and that's really time consuming. So what's gonna happen is when you send me a video that's not already pieced together, I'm gonna end up starting to just post what you send me like in individual clips, and you get what you get. Because it's a free dog show with monetary prizes as well as tangible prizes. So I need y'all to take pride in what you're doing, all right? If you're not really that technologically savvy like I am, I'm not really that great at technology either. Find a friend that can help you out. Like, this is all about building a team and network, all right? And if you don't have anybody you can trust, then watch a YouTube video on how to edit the videos for yourself with free editing software, and make sure you get your submissions in, because right now, with the way submissions stand, it's gonna be real easy to take some of those fun classes, like just because you entered the show, all right? Also, I've gotten a couple emails about hides. I still keep hides on deck, and with my hides, I've taken them off the site because what was happening was, bless you, what was happening was with Shippo was charging me before I put the hide in the mail, and then sometimes I wouldn't see my money for days after I actually shipped out the hides. Even though you already paid and I already shipped the hide, like my money would show up like a week later through PayPal. So I don't really like the PayPal process. So what I do now is, typically, if you ask me for a hide, I'll typically send you a sample for one free sheet, typically for free. And all I look for is like you to like post it on your YouTube channel or post it on your social media and send me a video clip that I can use to show people using my product. All right, that's it. If you want multiple hides, then typically what I do is I just, I really like you get the sample first so you know if you like it or not. Like if you already used hide before, then obviously order as many as you want. My full sheet goes for $20. And then a half sheet goes for $12.50. So it just benefits you to get one full sheet and cut it in half, because typically you don't need a full sheet for a flirt pole or even a spring pole unless you have like a 65, 70 pound dog, right? So the hides are on the site. The Samurai Kennel site link is not in this description right now, but I'll update the description, and it's in typically all of my Sunday descriptions as well. Also, it's my domain is big enough now that on Google, if you just Google Samurai Kennels, it should bring up my site. All right. And then for puppies updates, obviously, 2 of those puppies already belong to people, and those people know who they are. They've already put in a lot of work. They've already done their telephone interviews, and they are solid individuals. When I get done with my live today, the puppies will be going to the veterinarian to be veterinarian checked, get their first set of vaccinations, and then I'm going to be setting up to personally deliver these puppies to their respective owners. All right? There's one male that I'm teetering on keeping or not keeping because my partner believes that it's better to focus on one puppy at a time and fully develop and put all your energy into one puppy than it is to half-ass it with multiple puppies. So that's the logic I'm using, and I trust my team. What my team says, I take into account, but I make decisions on myself and hold myself accountable as a man. So should you. All right, so now that we got all that out the way, it's 10 minutes after the show start time, and so we're going to talk about what today's episode is really about. Today's episode is going to be based upon the Shepherd versus the American Pitbull Terrier. Things we're going to cover are going to be your pros and your cons for both, what I liked about Shepherds, specifically my interaction with Shepherds, what I liked about the American Pitbull Terrier, what I still like about the American Pitbull Terrier, trainability, aggression, grooming, feeding, and then the communities of people I've dealt with associated with both types of dogs, right? Because it does matter, like what kind of dog you have does kind of affect the lane or the people you're engaged with just because of the things your dogs have to have access to. All right. So let's get started. First off, my experience with Shepherds is I've owned one. Salute. That's my brother right there, y'all. Walter Bryant, I appreciate you, bro. Got the firest litter of puppies I have seen this year, hands down. And I'm going to keep saying that because I know what I see. Salute. Samurai Kennel 601. All right. If y'all need to get y'all a puppy, I had a GSD, the main issue. Yes. Hey, Tony M, that is facts. Well, the first thing I learned when I started hanging around that community of shepherd breeders was they call them German shedders. German shedders. That's the running joke with them. All right. Now, let me give y'all a little background on this, on my experience with them. I've owned 2. I owned one as a kid and I own one as an adult. The one I owned as an adult was actually a cross between a Belgian bred Malinois from down here, KMPV lines, from the military working lines, as well as a German Shepherd cross. The mother was the German Shepherd, the father was the Malinois. The puppy came out with a really great drive and was super smart. And we'll talk about that when we get into the pros and cons of trainability. With the American Pitbull Terrier, I got my first American Pitbull Terrier back in 2003. I was 13 at the time, and I knew nothing about the dogs. And I still am learning about the dogs. I'm a lifelong student of the game. And so I've just bred, trained both dogs. And this is what I've come to find out that I like. And I wanted to share this with you because I see a lot of brothers that are commingling the 2 on the yard. I've tried it. Didn't really work out that great for me. I'm not the most brain power person, but it didn't really work out that great for me. So I had to pick one and stick with one. However, if I had a close second, it would be the Malinois, right? Now, let's talk about what I liked about Shepherds. So the first thing I noticed when I got my Shepherd home was, this is when I decided to go on my journey of becoming a dog trainer. I wanted to get a dog that I could push to its limits with training. And I knew that the Malinois and Shepherds were great for that. All right. Also, the reason I picked a cross known as, or if y'all believe in designer breeds, the reason I picked a cross known as a Shepherd-Noir, which is a German Shepherd Malinois cross, or a Malinois X, or a Shepherd X, however you want to label it, it's just a mutt, right? But the reason I picked it was because adding the Malinois when you do a hybrid, you get hybrid vigor out of a dog like that, right? So that's why we do. Can you hear me now? Hold on just a second. Can you hear me now? I had a phone call come through. All right, cool. Yeah, I had a phone call come through, y'all. My apologies. And so I did the cross because you get hybrid vigor out of these animals when you do this thing, right? And so that was a great choice. It got rid of hip dysplasia. It got rid of some of the temperament issues because the German Shepherd's a little bit more laid back than the Malinois, but it was still very forward. What's up, big dog? That's what I'm talking about. That's my brother right there, y'all, man. I'm telling y'all, man, my brothers come through, man. I don't have friends. I don't have friends. I got brothers. You know what I'm saying? I don't do friends. Friends turn into frenemies. You know what I'm saying? If you're a friend, you might as well be a business partner or an associate. At least let's benefit off of each other's relationship, right? Salute. Yes, sir. Man, So I see you this afternoon, Big A. Real talk. But yeah, man. So that was it about the shepherds. You know what I'm saying? The pros of the shepherds was like when I got my shepherd, I got home and I thought I was the greatest. I'm the greatest dog trainer in the world because I literally walked this dog out of my car, took a golf ball, or excuse me, a tennis ball, threw it. He went and got it, brought it back, set it down at my feet. Swear to God. 8 weeks old, this puppy was chasing tennis balls and bringing them back. I was like, wow, I'm the greatest. I have the touch. I have the golden touch. And it kind of gave me a delusional opinion about my ability to train dogs by having the shepherd, right? Because I'm like, man, they do what you say when you say it. Very, very quick with a high level of engagement and intensity, right? So that was cool. Another thing I liked about the shepherd was it was naturally apprehensive. Awesome, absolutely, awesome prey drive. The shepherd was also really naturally apprehensive about strangers. By the time this dog was 4 months old, like he was like growling at people and stuff. And like, you know, with me, like I don't really do, like I said, I don't have friends. Like if you come over to my house, you're family, you know, like that's just what it is. So like if you're around me, like you have no issue with my dogs. But like I don't take my dogs to public locations and like really let people deal with them, whether it be American Pitbull Terrier or Shepherd. So because of this, I really like that the shepherd was like, just like, don't touch me, you know, just off the rip. I really love that in a dog. I don't pay money for dogs for other people to be able to touch my dogs. I just don't do it. All right. If you want to go pet a dog, go help out at the shelter on Saturday and clean up shit behind those dogs. But I don't clean up shit and feed my dogs for you to be able to play with my stuff. That's my personal opinion. You do with that information what you will. All right. Now, the pros that I liked about the American Pitbull Terrier was the grooming. The grooming is really, really simple. Washing them is easy. You can see cuts and burrs on their skin because their fur is typically short and stiff. The grooming is just 100% a lot cheaper, right? Appreciate that, Tony M. The grooming is just a lot cheaper. It's a lot easier to deal with them. They're really just really durable dogs. And surprisingly, like for dogs that are that heavily inbred, pit bulls have way less issues than any other breed I know that is inbred that way. They don't really have the dysplasia issues. Their temperament is still balanced. You don't even get a lot of flaws in their breeding. Like when I tell you like this dog is like the perfect, like you can be an idiot and raise American Pitbull Terriers. And when I see people who lose whole litters, I'm like, man, I know it can happen, and this is not to judge anybody, but like I'm not the best animal like care person in the world. I do what I know, right? And typically my dogs are just fine. They might have, you know, issue here and there, but like typically they're fine. All the issues are created by me, right? And so I'm like, man, these dogs are really durable. So that's what I really like about the American Pitbull Terrier. They're just, man, they're just amazing animals, man. They can live in cold, hot, you name it, they can handle it. They're the Spartan warriors of the dog world, and I like them for that. Another thing I really like about the pit bull is they are very, very people friendly, and it's fun to be around them. Like the first time I saw a true American Pitbull Terrier, and like it was tired and it opened his mouth, she just smiled at me, man. It was just like that smile is just like, it's a happy dog. Like this dog makes you feel good, you know. So that's what I like about the American Pitbull Terrier, man. That's some of the pros. That's the affective or like feelings that I have about these dogs. All right, y'all. So we're about to hit the 20-minute mark here. Let me give y'all a quick interim summary for those of y'all who just jumped in. So far we covered, I said a thank you to Senior Jaun Coyt down in Mexico, out of Michoacan. Shout out to my dude. Gave y'all an update on the digital dog show and told y'all I will be doing some more updates on the digital dog show because I want more contestants. I want this to be a thing. Every year for my birthday in April, I'm going to be doing this. Just like I do my annual ranking on like, you know, kennel videos. I'm going to be doing the best dog trainers on YouTube as well as the best yards on YouTube. Like, so y'all rock with me. We did a puppy updates, pros and cons to both dogs, what I like about shepherds, what I like about pit bulls, and now we're going to go into the trainability. All right. So trainability, and this is big with me because everybody who's been following Samurai Kennels, or if you're new to Samurai Kennels, needs to know our direction. Where we're going with our direction is we're training American Pitbull Terriers to be utility dogs. You'll never remove the term pit bull from my dogs because the general public is going to always see dogos, bullies, American Pitbull Terriers, even Bull Terriers. They just group us together, right? So we're under one umbrella. I don't care what you say. They're not. People are dumb. A person is smart. You can teach a person the difference, but people are dumb. All right, as a collective, we don't make good decisions as a collective when you put us all together, right? So I'm done trying to explain the difference to people. But what you can do is you can redirect the narrative of the dog. And that's what we're doing here at Samurai Kennels, right? And so when we talk about trainability, typically people think shepherds, they're really smart. They're going to do police work. They do all this cool stuff. And they go pit bulls. People train them to fight, pull weights, or jump up walls. That's pretty much like what people kind of see us as, you know. And then they think we're bullies. So they think we're just like walk around chest out dogs. Like they have just a misnomer about all of us. So that's why I think the dog training and trainability come into play, and I want to speak about both dogs in that regard. With the Malinois, I already told y'all that the Malinois Shepherd Cross, this dog was doing stuff like, it took me like a day to teach sit, a day to teach down, a day to teach the recall or the come command, a day to teach it to bark. The first time I showed it to sleeve, it bit it, no problem. The first time I showed it to somebody that didn't know and told them to get it, it did it, no problem. It was... I'm not gonna lie to you. Within a year of having that dog, I was fucking bored. All right, like I was bored. There was nothing else for me to do with that dog. I had reached the extent of my ability to train this dog. I would have needed a more experienced trainer to give the dog more than what I already gave it. I mean, like that dog was competition ready, and it had nothing to do with my skill as a trainer. The dog was gonna be trained by anybody. All right, like this dog, I could open my front door. We had a football field of distance between us and the road. I could open my front door. This dog would go out the front door, hook right, go all the way out to the side of the road on our side, opposite the ditch. So obviously, like there's a ditch between the cars and the dog. He would pee and poop, look around. He was kind of dominant. So he would kick, you know, the little back leg thing where he kicks his back legs. He would kick up leaves and stuff, and then come back to the house. If I wasn't waiting at the door to let him in, he would sit at the door, paw it a couple times, and just sit at the door and wait to come inside. Like the dog was like. It was great. It was a great dog if that's what you wanted, like just a perfect dog. It was literally a perfect dog, all right? And people go, well, if it was so perfect, why wouldn't you stick with it? And I want to hit y'all, I always like to attack people's logic, all right? Everybody knows if you go to school for 8 years and you get good grades, you can become a doctor, right? Or let me rephrase that. If you go to school after high school for 8 years and you get good grades, you can become a doctor. But everybody doesn't do that because that path is not for everybody. And so when we talk about life here, like let's use real human logic, not what sounds good. All right. So with the pit bull, the trainability is this. The pit bull can do everything that I've seen the Malinois do, and I've seen pit bulls do this. However, it's a lot more difficult. Where it may take me a day to train a Malinois a trick, it might take me a week or even a month to teach a pit bull the same thing. Like healing was almost like the natural way for that Malinois to walk, right? Whereas with Saki, and I'm using my dog specifically with Saki, it's like, all right, he can heal, and he heals decently now, but it's been over progressions. And as he matures mentally, because he's still young, as he matures mentally, he gets it. The Malinois was getting it 8 to 12 months earlier than the American Pitbull Terrier at a high level. And so that's the difference in trainability. Like, if you give that pit bull time, it can compete on the highest level. As a matter of fact, America's top dog, Creasy, was an American Pitbull Terrier. Also, we have had a real American Pitbull Terrier that was bred. I'm not going to say by his name, but he'll be doing an interview on our channel here soon. It was bred by a friend of ours here at Samurai Kennel. He bred the only IPO3 Schutzen American Pitbull Terrier ever to exist. All right, and I'll let him explain that on his interview. But he's somebody who I really hold in high regard, and when it comes out, y'all enjoy it. All right. So that's the trainability on the two dogs. With the American Pitbull Terrier, same stuff, a little bit more time and effort invested into the dog. Now let's talk about aggression. All right. I don't care what anybody tells you about always culling out man-aggressive American Pitbull Terriers. If I would say out of 5 yards, 4 of them have a dog that I'm scared to walk up on, right? 4 out of 5 yards have a dog that you're like, they say he don't bite, but I don't know. And if I'm lying, you probably haven't been on the right yards. Because some of those dogs are so intense, even if they don't want to bite you, they're so intense they're going to make you think twice, right? And I'm not saying they're like savage man-eaters. Like, they get off the chain, I don't think they would come towards you to bite you. But what I'm saying is, like, you're not going to just walk up on this dog and touch it either, right? So that's what I'm speaking about that and aggression. Like, they're not gonna like come out hunting you. Most of them. Some of them will, like, they will tear fire to your ass even if you're not in their yard or in their immediate vicinity. But Most of the pit bulls still stay true to like, they're not gonna hurt you, but they're not like just like nannies. Like you don't walk up on a random dog that you don't know and take it off the chain. Like I think those days are kind of like, they're here and there's yards like that, but who would take a dog like that? And then you got the Malinois or the Shepherd crosses, right? And those guys are a little bit more forward, but even them, like, I don't think they were like super aggressive, like Molosser's like gonna chase you down unless I send them after you. Like my Malinois would be chilled as long as you didn't come in the house or like come in a certain vicinity of us. He was very, he was like very like socially, he had a bubble, he had a social bubble of how far you needed to be away. And typically, like if we were walking down the street and there was somebody walking down the sidewalk, I would just heel him to the opposite side. He wouldn't growl or anything. He didn't care. But if they engaged, if they said something, if they made eye contact, then it was go time. And I mean, that's acceptable, I guess. But what I didn't like about the Malinois was when it came time to take him to the groomers, he was still like that. And I've never had an issue with my pit bulls when I take them to like the vet and stuff. So the pros and cons, I would say, of aggression are, yes, it's easier to make your Malinois a guard dog or a protection dog, but I really think they're slightly unstable, specifically like a purebred Malinois. It's commonly accepted in the community of Malinois trainers and breeders that you're gonna probably get bit at least once by your own dog with a Malinois because they can be reactive. So if you do a correction with a prong collar or a choke collar, your dog might whip around and hit you real quick. It's not gonna hold on to you, but it might whip around and hit you to let you know, hey man, like I don't think that was fair. They'll let you know that. Whereas the pit bull's pain tolerance, like you give him a strong correction and he might look at you like you're crazy, you know. So that's what I think about when it comes to aggression of the two breeds. You can leave your comments in here or you can hit me up offline if you have more information, and I can always update information. All right, and let's talk about grooming needs. For grooming needs for them are very, very drastically different. I didn't even know what a Furminator was until I got a Shepherd, right? And the Furminator is a tool that you can use to get the undercoat. So with long-haired breeds like Shepherds, typically they have a top coat and a bottom coat. Malinois don't really have it, but because I had a Shepherd cross, it definitely had an undercoat and a top coat, right? And so I would have to rake this out with a tool called a Furminator. It's a really good tool, but it doesn't do anything. Like you could wash the dog, furminate it, brush it, trim the fur, and you're still gonna have fur in your car when you get back from the breeders, right? It's gonna happen. It's a nightmare to groom them. Their teeth, I noticed that with the Malinois, when you do bite work, their teeth get dulled down and like yellowish. The pit bulls their teeth kind of hold out a little bit better. They were just a little bit more durable as far as grooming standards as well. Brushing their teeth, I actually do brush my dog's teeth for shows and things like that. So it's pretty much the same. Like they're tolerant of the toothpaste, but that's about it when it comes to that stuff. As far as grooming goes, as far as feeding, man, my 70-pound boy Shepherd cross ate just as much my American Pitbull Terriers. They fed about the same for mine. If you have a pure German Shepherd that's a little heavier or a Malinois that's a little heavier, it could be. I mean, it could eat more, but feeding my dog was affordable. All right, and I feed grain-free kibble and supplemented with raw food. At the time, I was doing mostly kibble when I had my Shepherd, but like now I supplement, and it costs about the same for both dogs with me. But I kept my Shepherd lean. Like I didn't have one of these couch potato Shepherds that you see like running down the street. No, like I had one that could launch up the side of a building and probably go on the second floor window on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've seen when it comes to that feeding on those. All right, y'all. So we're approaching that 30-minute mark, and y'all know I like to give interim summaries just so you can know what we're talking about. Top of the morning, Soul Power. Welcome to the show, my brother. And I'm literally just about to do an interim summary, so check this out, just so you can know what was talked about. So if you decide to go back and watch it, you can go back and check it out. Also, we got 9 likes, 16 people in the chat. Can we get one more like so we get them double digits on them likes? That'd be much appreciated. All right. So far, I gave some shout outs and some special thanks to some brothers who have been rocking with me for a long time. We talked about the Digital Dog Show and the updates on that. We also talked about the hides on my site and how to actually procure your hide. I appreciate that like. Thank you so much. I know y'all hear me. Puppy updates. We got pros and cons to both dogs that we talked about in the show. And with the pros and cons, we talked about what I liked about Shepherds, what I liked about Pit Bulls, what we know about trainability, aggression, grooming, feeding. And now we're going to move into this 30-minute mark, and we're going to start chopping it up about the communities associated with both dogs. All right, I'm going to start with the Shepherds first because I spent the least amount of time in that community, and we're going to finish up with the American Pitbull Terrier community, and then we're going to just chop it up. All right, y'all. So for the shepherding community, what I noticed was they have a lot more clubs that are not just based upon conformation. All right, like with us, we are like ADBA, APDR, whatever all these things are. You know, we got our clubs that are like just for like, I don't know, breed standards. But with the protection dog world, specifically the shepherds, they typically just have clubs that just get together and train. And this mentality is something I want to bring to the American Pitbull Terrier world. And we at Samurai Kennels are working on building specifically our own habitat for this. Anybody can do this, and any ideas I share they're free game, they're open to the market. However, here at Samurai Kennels, we have our way that we're going to do it with pride and professionalism, and we're going to share that with you. We're going to take you on this journey, so rock with us. All right, so in the shepherding community, you have clubs that meet up for protection work. You have clubs that do scent detection. You have clubs that are mixed together. Then you also have, they're actually like AKC, UKC clubs that allow them to show their dogs, right? There's a bunch of outlets in that community, and the people are more open about talking about their animals because they're more socially accepted at large. However, what I did notice while being associated with the shepherd community was the same thing I noticed about being accepted by the pit bull community. And PETA tears their ass up too. So like literally, like I feel for them because PETA does not like prong collars. They don't like e-collars. They don't like back ties. They don't like anything that causes the animal that they feel like causes the animal to feel uncomfortable. We both houses deal with that, both of us. And so like I share this information so y'all can be aware, because like when it comes to fighting legislation on a global scale, you got to realize that there's other people being attacked the same way we are. All right. PETA's overarching mission is that no animals are pets. And it's crazy to me that people can say no animals can be pets, but not be full vegan. Because I mean, in reality, like if you eat animals, like how can you eat an animal, but then you say you don't want any animals to be pets? You know, like I don't know, if you view them as family, then you can't be eating them because I mean it makes you a cannibal, right? But anyways, well, that's what I noticed about the shepherding community, man. They really take care of each other. They're a lot more welcoming. It's a lot more typical for them to reach out to one another, share their groomers, share their trade secrets as far as training goes. But as far as like breeding secrets, like they do not compare to the American Pitbull Terrier. Like this is the, all right, I'm segueing on to American Pitbull Terrier people now. This breed, hands down, has when you're at the truth of it, at the root of the American Pitbull Terrier community, this is the most educated community about their dogs, hands down. And I share this sentiment because me and Big A and Paolo was talking about it, and I really want to share this with y'all. Like, what other breed do you know can sit there and just rap to you about different bloodlines and they breed and tell you why and what the traits are? And all they're going to tell you is from the shepherd world, my dog's KMPV from the Netherlands. My dog is from East Germany. Okay, cool. What bloodline from East Germany? All right, like, are there people that know? Yeah, but it's a very small niche. And being as involved as I was in the protection side of it, you would think they would be able to go, hey, this is my pedigree. You know, these two dogs made this dog, and this is the littermate sister to this dog over here in Dublin. Nah, none of that. You know, so as far as like the breed records and keeping up with like traits and stuff, like the American Pitbull Terrier community, hands down, is the most educated. As far as animal husbandry, hands down, the most educated. Like literally, if you have an American Pitbull Terrier and you're really a part of the fraternity, yeah, I agree. But I want to give you some information on that too. One of the things I learned by being a part of the shepherd community, like the Honda and Shepherd of the dog world, man, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like conceptually, yes, but as far as like for the shepherd breeders here in America, right? And this goes back to my brother's Soul Power. For the shepherd breeders here in America, a lot of them can't even tell you if their dog comes from West German or East German descent. And there's actually a difference in the look of them, right? So I don't want to quote bad information, but I'll tell you this. The difference in the look is the West German line, or one line, has a more like straight back. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One of them has more of a more level back. One of them has a slight slope to the back, but none of them have the slope that the American bred German Shepherds have. Additionally, there's a difference in coat, and also one is typically used more for military work, and the other is used more for herding. And like that's absolutely, my brother, absolutely. So yeah, so they have, but us as American Pitbull Terrier people, we can talk and we can articulate our message and ask the right questions about our breed. I don't see as many German Shepherd breeders doing that. They go, hey, I got a AKC German Shepherd bred. All right, cool. What titles does the parent have? What titles does the grandparent have? It comes out of a working line, or comes out of a champion line. Like, you can't tell me anything about your pedigree other than it comes out of a champion line. What stories do you have about that champion? What IPO or Schutzhund class did it win? They don't really have that. Whereas like with the American Pitbull Terrier, like man, like everybody probably talk about their pedigree. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? They might be lying or they might not know what they really have, but our community is we're big on maintaining our statues, right? Also with both communities have people that are really, really forward. This is shared. Like a lot of us get misunderstood because man, we just talk our shit. You know what I'm saying? We talk our shit and it can be misunderstood. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The only ones who are like that though. The only ones who are like that, man. Like, I mean, like I even look at like people like the Bull Terriers and things, man. And I don't personally see it. Y'all might know them, and just because you know one person that's like that, just because there's an exception to the rule doesn't mean it's not the rule. You know, and I always like to share that logic with people. Like, you can always find the one off, but typically, like what's the what I look for is the typical. Yes. So, but yeah, man, break down the pairs, talk about traits. Yeah, JT, I see you in there, bro. But that's pretty much like it as far as like the communities go, man. Like, I really hate that a lot of us get misinterpreted because we talk from a place of passion, and people don't like the way we sound. Also, like typically, it's not, we don't have a lot of like high profile people that really rep us like they should rep us, or like we deserve to be rep. So we just get misunderstood, man. But I understand y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Like we talk how we live. And okay, Saki, that's enough. So we talk how we live, we get it how we live, and our dogs are like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Saki barking right now because somebody walking by my house and they got too close on my side of the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that shit. And then, you know, like, oh, your dog's aggressive. He should be. I don't trust you. I don't trust them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it is. And most of us in our community are like that. Don't talk about me. Keep my name out your mouth. Don't come around looking at my dogs. Don't be asking for no pictures of my dog unless we're doing business, or I know you, or if I decide to share it, I'll share it with you. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Hey, put in that work, man. Put in that work. But yeah, man, like y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man. We are literally the best people. And when I talk about the best people, I'm talking about American Pitbull Terrier people, because like the animal husbandry we have, just because we have more scrutiny on us, y'all already know, man, like you could go to a house, and I've seen this. I shit you not, I've been to houses like this. You can go to a house with 30 little Yorkie doodles or whatever running around, and this shit all over the floor. Neighbors coming by, they got kids running around in the shit, and nobody gets called. No animal control, no nothing. And there's kids living in this fecal matter. I've seen it. I done seen houses with snakes and ferrets, and the kids just run around like, you know what I'm saying, barefoot, and it obviously smells like a pet store in the house, and nobody says anything. Nobody gives a fuck. Because at the end of the day, we don't care about people. We don't, well, let me phrase that. We do. And the reason why we come out so passionate, or at least me, is because I care about every one of y'all, right? Facts. But yeah, I give you that, Melvin. But yeah, man, like it's we come off so harsh because like we care so much. Like, this is the thing, all right, cool. Like, I believe in corporal punishment. And for those of y'all, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but corporal punishment is like spanking. I whoop my kid's ass, right? Because in my mind, I'll whoop my kid's ass so the world don't whoop my kid's ass, right? And so that concept is what I think we apply to each other when we talk to each other. And honestly, if you're uninitiated to our fraternity, you just won't get it. You just won't understand it. There's days where I get my fucking feelings, and then you know what I'm saying? And you know, like they say on Paid in Full, you pull your fucking skirt down, B. Pull your skirt down, or you know what I'm saying? Pull your pants up, man the fuck up, and keep it moving. That's what we do. You know what I mean? I know right now this episode is not getting monetized because y'all done got me triggered and then my feelings are talking, but I need to say what I got to say, and it needs to be heard. And those of y'all who are in here right now, I appreciate y'all, but we gonna really change the game. What's good, Marquand? Hey, y'all, shout out to Marquand 1988. I literally, like, there was days where Marquand might be the only comment I had on my whole thing. Yes. Yes. Terrible people, bro. Terrible people. But yeah, bro, like, it's, man. Another thing that I've noticed is, like, we have medication on hand, and the same people who will call animal control on you will come to you and be like, hey, man, my dog is sick. What should I do? This happens at work all the time. At my job, it happens all the time. And you know what I tell the motherfuckers? I think you should take your dog to the veterinarian. Take your dog to the vet. You can. Take your dog to the vet. Pay them $9,000 to tell you that he has ingrown toenail. Facts. That's what I'm talking about, Tony M. And then, all right, another pet peeve of mine, because now we're talking about communities, right? Us and people who do protection work are the only ones I know who actually keep their dogs on a damn leash in public. And even if we don't, the only time our dogs come off leash is when we know that when we call that dog, it's going to come back. That's the only time our dogs are off leash. Every accident I've ever gotten into on a walk or at the park has been the other person. Every single one of them. And the sad thing is, people get mad at me for pulling my phone out and recording the accident as it's about to happen, as opposed to picking my dog up who's on his leash. Which, by the way, in San Antonio, there's a law that your leash can be no more than 6 foot long and your animals must be tethered when they're not in a confined yard or area. So I'm already right. I'm already right. My dog is on a leash. I'm minding my business. I have a break stick. I have a backpack with treats. I have shit bags in my bag because I clean up my dog's poop. Also, I don't let my dogs poop in the front yard. So when I walk out my front yard and there's poop by the edge of the road, I know that ain't my dogs. But then I got these nasty ass neighbors around here tracking up their damn Parvo and they damn Cock City ass dogs, you know, letting them shit in people's yard, not cleaning up. The same ones who called animal control on me 3 years in a row. They've come into my house 3 times. They've checked all my facilities, and all they could say was, we're gonna write it down. And after the 3rd time they came to visit my yard, they said, okay, now we're gonna let you file a complaint back. But because the person was anonymous, we're just gonna put your address down as a place we're not gonna come back to anytime soon. And I haven't seen them since late 2021. Then you got motherfuckers writing me letters talking about some animals should be fucking church and shit, you know. Animals don't have a choice in the matter, blah, 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 hibbity-hoo, blah. And you got a fucking chihuahua that runs through the yard every day. I've thought the man in me, my lower self, has thought to let Saki eat his ass up. But you know what? I already know what the headline's gonna look like when I do that. I already know what the headlines will look like when I do it, so I don't. You know, like we have to be the best people. Legitimately, like American Pitbull Terrier owners have to be the best people. Exactly. You know, but hey, if I complain about it, hey, I'm just an angry black dude with a pit bull, right? Stereotypical. So that's why I think what y'all gotta realize is, man, like the professionalism has to be there. Yeah, man, the professionalism has to be there. Like all of y'all in this chat, man, like I genuinely appreciate every one of y'all, man. But we are iron, and we are iron. And as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. And sometimes sparks gonna fly when we disagree. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is, man. But we're here not just to build a better dog community. We're here to build better people. And I want to say that that's the direction that everybody's going in now, because what we realize is that we're the minority as a group of people who are animal husbanders and people who take care of our animals. And it's on us to change the way, because at the end of the day, the same people who are against us with our dogs are the same people who are against us with our guns. And I'm sorry, but I keep guns. And if you try to take my dogs or my guns, you know what I'm saying? Like the Constitution says, you know, we have the right to form our own militia. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Because that's all I'm asking. I just want to be left the hell alone. You know what I'm saying? It's getting more and more difficult to buy land, so we're going to have to be around these tree huggers. And yeah, I don't really like go around harassing them and calling them tree huggers, but that's what they are. They literally are tree hugging people. But we'll build new houses and new developments to stack up more people who are going to consume more things. I look at San Antonio. San Antonio used to be a prairie. Facts, Marquand. Facts. And y'all know I didn't used to, in my previous videos, I didn't really get political. And I'm not going to get political, but I am going to talk about what I feel like being righteous and what I feel like being wrong. And it's just wrong. I don't think it's fair that I go off to Afghanistan. Every 3 to 4 years, I'm going to get deployed. And I go to fight for people who don't like me because of the way I look. They don't like the way I talk. They don't like my dog. They don't like my pastime. They don't like my hobbies. And they have all the rights to talk shit about me while I'm over there getting fucking shot at in Afghanistan. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to make this world a better place, because there's people like y'all who I'm talking to. And when you go to work and you go to school, I know what it feels like to be the only person in the room to hear a conversation. Like, I've been at work and people talking about pit bulls and none of them know what the fuck they're talking about. And I just shut the fuck up. They over there, yeah, you know, I got this blue-nosed pit. Williams, don't you got a pit? Your pit looks small. Oh, my pit looks small. My pit looks small. Yeah, you know, William Joyce must not be purebred. Hey, none of these motherfuckers got papers. They call this shit blue nose. Yeah, my shit Rachel Eli. And I'm sitting there in the office by myself. You know what I'm saying? It's 100 motherfuckers in there. You know what I mean? I'm chilling. And the only people who even understand my plight are the officers. Because like, with this all enlisted, they're regular working men like you and me, the officers. They sit around, you know. Yeah. Hell yeah. Then they Williams, my dog don't behave. My dog jumps on people, he bites people. 1, you have a fucking molosser. You know. 2, the dog was not designed for any purpose other than looks. So what did you think you were gonna get? They weren't looking for any traits or any behavioral symptoms of the animal. 4, you live in San Antonio, Texas, with a dog that weighs 120 pounds and exercise is literally jumping off the couch for your dog. But it is what it is, man. Man, this feels good to get with y'all and vent about it, because I know y'all understand. I know you understand. I'm tired of everybody saying they dog got pit in it. Every dog that is black and looks like a lab is a black pit mix. Every one of them. And like I said, at work, everybody who gets a new dog, it's got some pit in it. Every dog. This dog could look like a straight up chow chow, and they're gonna articulate that it has pit bull in the blood. Every one of them. And these are these are people. Remember I told y'all earlier in the episode, people are dumb. Now, if you isolate that person and you talk to them one-on-one, you might educate that one individual. But how many individuals you got to educate? We got to develop our community. We got to be articulate, and we got to have a focal point. And that's what I'm working on building with y'all. Hey, y'all. So right now we're approaching that 50-minute mark on the hour. Y'all know I don't keep y'all long in these mornings at all. But if you just got in the chat, go ahead and feel free to hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber and you're watching this live, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to chop it with y'all a little bit longer, but I do want to give an interim summary for those of y'all who got here a little bit later, just so y'all can know what was talked about, because we kind of went from structured, and then we kind of just got into chopping it up and pontificating over here, right? So far what we covered, y'all, was we went in, I gave a special thanks to my friend, Jaun Coyt, and then we talked about the Digital Dog Show. You wish that the lives were longer, Tony? Because if that's so, man, I can rock with y'all, man. I really don't be wanting to hold y'all up, man. But we can talk about it. Because I had a request for an episode, and if y'all willing to stick by it, I'll bring out and go ahead and cover some more information. We covered the digital dog show, the hides, the puppies. Oh yeah, y'all. Oh, okay. So y'all rocking with me. All right, yeah, we can rock. We can wrap it up. We can chop it up a little bit longer. We did the puppy updates. We did the pros and cons to both. We did what I liked about shepherds and pits, trainability, aggression of both breeds, grooming, feeding of both breeds, and then the communities. And now we just talking about just the communities in general and things we deal with day to day. I'll give y'all another example of some stuff that really that we deal with every day. And if y'all got suggestions on these things, let's cook. Honestly, man, if it's like that, what I would like to do is kind of do like Kevin Samuels used to do. Apparently, YouTube has a thing now where I can send you a link and y'all can join the live. I don't know how to do that right now, so I'm not going to try it this morning. But what we'll do is eventually I'll have it where we can do like a talk show where y'all can come on the live too, so that you're not just sitting there typing. If you're the person that likes to type, that's fine. I'm not trying to put you out your comfort zone. We are private individuals. We are private citizens, right? But if you're a person who wants to chop it up, we can chop it up live so everybody can hear those thoughts. Because it's your intellectual property. You do not have to share it. But those of y'all who do, I really appreciate when y'all share that intellectual property. Also, things that I'm looking for are t-shirt designs and other items that I can push out to the public so that you are not just, I don't just want people giving me, I don't want to be a beggar. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. You know what I'm saying? What I really want to do is I want to develop goods that are I want to actually sell and buy and trade goods. Entrepreneurship is high on my list of things to do. Barter system, absolutely. Okay, so some of the things that we do is some of y'all are carpenters, man. I see so first of all, I don't want to take away from Woodshop Nay. If y'all don't know who Woodshop Nay is, find him on Facebook. Woodshop Nay is doing amazing work. He builds carpet mills. Also, Swamp Fire Kennels, he builds carpet mills. You know what I'm saying? For me, I want to build my own because I like to do everything hands on myself. I'm gonna build my own carpet mill. I'm gonna build my own slat mill. I'm gonna do it at least once, but I'll buy it from a brother to barter with them. Also, where I'm from, we used to trade dogs for stuff like that. I've seen people take a puppy and trade a puppy for a treadmill. Or I've even seen one of my mentors, people would come to him and would trade him vehicles, pink slips for the dog. We don't have to have everything with financial ledger as long as it is a good trade. Or let's say, for example, I'm moving to Arizona, right? Every house that I've looked at moving into does not have grass in the yard, which means I'm gonna have all kind of like my weed eater, my lawnmower and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I won't need it, and I plan on retiring and settling in Arizona, and I'm gonna be there for at least the next 7 years. So if somebody needed that stuff, man, and you're in Texas or whatever, before I leave, holla at me. You can honestly, it's an electric lawnmower. I don't fuck with it anyways. I hate it, but you could have that. I've gotten my use out of it. You could have that, right? And it's a power share lawnmower because I took an ecology class and the tree huggers got me, y'all. I took an ecology class and they were like, "Yeah, don't buy gas lawnmowers." So it's a weed eater, leaf blower, and an electric lawnmower, and the batteries are interchangeable. You can take the battery out of one and put it in the other one and use it. It's a power share system, right? But I won't need that stuff when I get to Arizona. They don't, it's a fucking desert. So stuff like that, man, just being a part of this community, I'd rather y'all have it than one of these other people who don't deserve it. But yeah, man, these are the things we can talk about. We can barter on here. Also, let's have our own marketplace. Facebook got their marketplace, and you can't even post a puppy on there. If you put the word sale and a picture of a dog on there, they will flag you. I don't promote puppy peddling at all. But a lot of y'all brothers got dogs that when y'all have puppies and I have room for a puppy, I want to buy them from you. All right. Let me know if y'all can hear the audio because I just had my alarm go off. Hey, so I haven't had a yard big enough for riding lawnmowers in my adult life, y'all. And if I ever get some acreage, man, appreciate it. Hey, I'm hood too, Tony. Hey, I appreciate it, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like DJ Khaled say. But yeah, man. There's a lot of stuff we got available. And then I heard of a business opportunity, and I want to share this with y'all because this is the kind of things I want to get into. It was told to me at the ADBA dog. I appreciate you, JT, and I'm gonna hit you back after this too. But Melvin got my attention first because Melvin hit me up first this morning, y'all. Hey Vinny, what's good, big dog? What's good, man? Hey, we chopping it up, Vinny. Hey, so for the actual informative part of the show was earlier on. Now we talking it up, and I'm sharing ideas with y'all because these ideas, y'all are the ones who gonna do them. Hey, so it was shared with me at this ADBA dog show that in Arizona where I'm moving to, that there's a guy who has a couple acres of land, right? And he has catch pens for hogs. And he has like piglets in some of the pens. You can teach your dog to catch a dog in a safe environment. Teach your dog to catch a hog. Catch a hog. We don't condone anything illegal and no illegal activities, but we do want to have happy activities, right? And so you can go out there $50, 3 or 4 Saturdays and hit some small hogs, and then you can go out there and it's a bigger pen, so the dog has to, hunt and do a little more work and catch a bigger hog, and then you can move on to the large hogs. And he actually releases a couple hogs every year and allows people to hunt. He castrates them, obviously, and allows people to hunt his land to catch his wild, the hogs that have been considered feral at that point, right? And that's something I would like to get together as a group. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a test for gameness at all. Like, I don't want to misconstrue hog hunting or baying and catching hogs for the same as. But I think it would just be a good bit of fun. And also any hogs that we kill, butcher them and actually barbecue them. For any of y'all who are, I don't know if y'all follow Art Fennell, but if you do, can you give me a thumbs up? Art Fennell is from South Carolina, in a region not far where I'm from. And they do barbecue contests. And with those barbecue contests, sometimes they'll cook a whole half of a hog, or they'll do like the rib contest or whatever. Like, I want to do all of that, man. Like, I really, it's not just, the dogs are what brought us together, but y'all have so many talents, man. Like, one of the brothers in the chat, I'm not gonna share his information, but one of the brothers in the chat is teaching me how to do a little bit of like growing some plants or whatever, and specifically mint, because I want to add mint into the things I have around me. But that information was given to me by another brother who said you should try mint. But I put the two informations together and I'm able to make something out of it, and we can all do that. Yeah, man. If any of y'all know how to tan leather and make hides, like, this would be a great opportunity to post in the chat what you offer. Like, I don't mind you soliciting and promoting yourself in my chat. Like, do that. That's what this forum is for, and that's what all the forums should be for. As far as t-shirts go, man, like, I'm gonna start. Like, do y'all like the raffles when I raffle off free t-shirts? Things like that. I can bring those raffles back. I've just been consumed with the digital dog show, so I've been trying to make it available to y'all. But yeah, man, like, everything is everything with us, man. Everything is everything. I can't stay on here too long, but I'm gonna give y'all more time because y'all asked for more time. But I do, like I said earlier in the video, them puppies is going to the vet today because they getting their asses up out of here this week. I love puppies, but like, I'm really ready to focus on the dogs that I'm keeping here. I will never not take care of any animal in my yard. That means, like, if you get into hardship and you got a dog for me, you can always, bring it back and I'll hold on to it for you. And if you need me to rehome it, I'll rehome it for you. If I have room. If I don't have room, then the best thing I can do for you is talk about it on here and let people know. Also, speaking of that, so there's a guy who I sold 2 puppies off of my Dior dog to in Oklahoma. And he's moving to a really, really cold climate. He's selling his whole yard. 2 of the dogs came from my hands, like, in my living room to him. He came down from Oklahoma to buy these dogs for me last year when we bred our purebred boy Jocko breeding. And both of those puppies are right now up for sale for $1,500. If y'all are interested in that at all, or you know somebody who wants some purebred boy Jocko stuff, I actually have the mom's pedigree, and that's what I was going to bring out because one of my viewers had asked me to kind of go over a pedigree, and I was gonna pull it out on Sunday and actually go over that pedigree on Sunday and explain it to him in a little bit more depth. I already have a video on pedigrees, but I think for this person, they might be a little bit more green or a little bit more new, or they just want to hear me go over it in a little bit more depth. So I'm gonna make that video for them on Sunday, and obviously on Sundays I always show a little bit of the training that we're doing. Right now, we're getting Saki ready for his CGC as well as his Safe Dog program checks. So a lot of the training we're doing is for a CGC and Safe Dog program. I also put a challenge in Sunday's video to see if you could identify what movements I was actually teaching. So if y'all go back to Sunday's video, see if y'all can identify that. And if you can't, or if you have questions about it, then let me know. I don't want to put the answer out too fast because I want to give you a chance to get in there and see it. Oh man. So what y'all want to chop it up about? Like, you know what I mean? Like I have my topics that like spur me in the moment. But like what's on y'all mind? What y'all got? What y'all got going on? What y'all doing right now? Y'all at work? Where y'all at? What's going on? Crickets. All right. So let me see it. Oh, I don't know why this ain't popping up on Asiatic brother. My bad. Asiatic soldier. My bad. What are my top 3 American Pitbull Terrier books? All right, cool. So, one, this is the American Pitbull Terrier, Richard F. Stratton, hands down. All right, got to put that in there. 2, there's a series of books by Mrs. Diane Jessup. I haven't read them, but what I have done is I've heard excerpts from them. So Diane Jessup, get one of her books and check her out. She has some conflicting views with Richard Stratton because her views are typically more toward the training side, kind of the stuff I'm into. So look at Mrs. Diane Jessup. And then 3, Mr. Richard Garcia's book, Schoolboy, because it gives personal experience and talks about his personal, like, he even tells his keep in some of his book, right? He talks about how and why. I love to understand the why behind things. So those are my 3 suggestions. Mr. Richard F. Stratton's book, this is the American Pitbull Terrier. Mind you, he has 3 books, but this identifies the dog. Then you have the book of the American Pitbull Terrier and the World of the American Pitbull Terrier, which are also great reads. I typically, when I speak to y'all, I reference the World of the American Pitbull Terrier because that book is available to me. There are some books by Mr. Jaun P. Coyt as well, but I was just introduced to those recently. One of my friends that I hang out with, he brings books by and shares the information with me when he comes by, and I give y'all like little tidbits of what I'm able to extrapolate from that information. But yeah, man, that was a good question, man. For real, for real. Hey, so Big A said the World of the American Pitbull Terrier. I know why you said that, Big A, but facts. Yeah, man. Hey, y'all. So some of these comments y'all were putting, I'm looking at my other phone right now. I miss y'all comments, man. So I'm scrolling back through here because I don't want anybody to feel like they didn't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. Yeah. Hey. Melvin said Muffin is fine and beautiful as hell. Hell yeah. If anybody in the chat is interested in horticulture. Yo, big facts. Hey, Soul Power said if anybody's interested in horticulture, hit him up. That's a fact. But also, like the brother gave me the why and the how. Because I don't know if y'all ever heard of a green thumb, but whatever the opposite of a green thumb is, somebody who can kill any plant, that's me. Also, somebody who can kill any fish. That's why I don't have fish. I don't keep fish in an aquarium because every fish I have has died within a week, man. And I done tried like fixing it and everything. It's just that ain't for me, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for me, but I need to learn it. So Soul Power said, is it too late to start protection work with a 2-year-old dog? All right, so I gotta answer this carefully. The 100% honest answer is it's never too late to start any training with any dog. Now, the mature and the professional answer or the responsible answer is, does your dog have the temperament to do this? And is your dog gonna be obedience trained prior to doing the protection work? I must ask that question, my brother. Now, you can have a dog I can teach you how to teach a dog to bark if you want to have a bark on command to make people nervous, where it doesn't actually have to bite and be a liability. Because some insurance, like my insurance company asked me, do I have aggressive or biting dogs on the yard? All right, so these are things that you can, hey Melvin, absolutely you can respond. Like this is what it's for, y'all. Like please respond. But for me, I would say that it's never too late to teach a dog anything, but just know what you're getting into when you teach it. And with a puppy, you can see the developmental process of that dog and know how that dog's neurological receptors are. All right? But yeah, man, we getting deep, y'all. I really like that y'all chopping it up in this chat with each other because everybody in this chat, offline, I chop it with y'all anyways. And all of y'all are great men. So the fact that y'all are talking and engaging each other, that's exactly what this is supposed to be about. And I love this. I love this, man. This makes my day so much easier because I'm like, now, man, like this dude is great. He know this, and this dude is great. He know that, and they sharing ideas now. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. So for those of y'all who are in the chat or those of y'all who are listening and can't see the chat, I'm going to share Melvin's comment. He said, it's never too late, but you must start with obedience first, and then the advanced obedience. In my preference, and from what I have experienced and learned, that's absolutely correct. My sentiments exactly. But y'all, little do y'all know, man, like Melvin being humble to y'all, but Melvin rock with the Samurai Army real hard, and we all on the same page when it comes to that, man. So Melvin, salute to my brother Melvin, and salute to my brother Soul Power for that courage and that integrity to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Talk about what you want to talk about, man. Another thing we got to realize, y'all, is you can tell people whatever you want to tell them. People gonna do what they want to do. So no matter who or what is going on, the best thing I can do for you is give you the information you need, because I'm not there to help you execute it. But as far as Soul goes, personally, I know the brother Soul. Soul is a research individual, so I'm not talking to a regular. I'm not talking to people. I'm talking to a person when I talk to brother Soul. Just so y'all understand that. Just like my brother Melvin is a person, not people. And like I told y'all, people are dumb, but a person is smart. A person has individual accountability. A person knows that they can't hide in a crowd. But people will throw a rock and hide in the group and hope that you pick the wrong person out of the group because they don't want to be held accountable for their actions. But a person will throw a rock and say, "I threw the rock. What you gonna do about it?" And that's the kind of people I deal with. I deal with persons of individuality and men. That's it. Straight like that. Hey, but yeah, Soul Power and Melvin, like, bro, like, both of y'all, I know both of y'all, I talked to both of y'all, like, y'all brothers should definitely, like, exchange information, bro, because y'all both have great perspectives on how the dog should be bred and also how the dog should be taken care of. Great animal husbandry. What other questions y'all got? Let's chop it up. Let's cook up something good. Yeah. How do you address people that want a dog from you, but you don't? Hey, Tony M, that's a great question. So the first thing is honesty, bro. Honestly, hey, look, man, like, you might want this dog, but I need more time, and I need to fill you out more before I would feel comfortable letting this dog go with you. If that person ain't comfortable with you standing your ground, they not the person for that dog. Straight like that. Hey, man, like, look, like, there's something about you that I need to fill out, because at the end of the day, it's not about how you feel or about the money you're bringing me. It's about the care for my animal. And if they can't respect that, they're not the person for your dog, because that means that they're getting it with intentions that go against what you want. Like I told y'all, when I was trying to get in this game, and I was telling the breeder I want a dog that I'm going to do protection work with for an American Pitbull Terrier. And I was turned away from hella breeders. They was like, hell no, you're not about to take my dog and do that and have my dog in the news. So I completely understand that sentiment, Tony M. Honesty is the best policy when it comes to that. Say what you mean, stand your ground. If they can't, they're gonna, if they can't get it from you, they're gonna either, one, try to steal it, shoot them. Two, they're gonna go to somebody else who's willing to take on that responsibility or that risk. And that's it. They can step. You know what I'm saying? They can step. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, Melvin. Melvin, hey Melvin, I already know you gonna tell him step. I already know my brother Melvin gonna tell him step. Hey, yeah, but Tony, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, nah. And there's been people I told, no, like, for my dogs, especially my red boy stuff, hell no. If you've never owned a real American Pitbull Terrier, don't even look to get some of my red boy stuff from here. Mind you, my Eli stuff can bite, and it's probably more likely to bite somebody than my red boy stuff. But the red boy stuff, man, it is. They would end up in the pound with a new person who's never really dealt with American Pitbull Terriers. Them red boy dogs would be in a pound. If I sold it on Monday, it would be in a pound by Friday, because it's gonna tear up the cage. It's gonna run back and forth. It's gonna do all kind of destructive shit, and that pet owner's gonna think I sold them. Y'all remember the Gremlins? How like the Gremlin, because that's what puppies do. You know, you get them home, and then like once they warm up, then their true colors come out. So on the Gremlins, you know, he get the little Gremlin home. I don't know if y'all seen this. I'm old enough to remember the Gremlins. And you get it home, and the little gremlin cool. He spilled some water on it, and some more gremlins come out. But then he fed them after 10 o'clock at night, and them motherfuckers went crazy. That's what them red boy dogs is like once you get them to your house. All right? I'm telling you, man, it's a different. And seeing the two distinctive different lines on my yard, man, is crazy, yo. It is legitimately like crazy. That's why all my red boy stuff, I have rehomed it. They're still where I can breed to them, but I don't need it on my yard. Every yard accident I've had, the red boy dog initiated it. Every yard accident I had, the red boy dog initiated it. Because here in San Antonio, they have an anti-tethering law, so everything is in kennels, and they can climb, and they can tear through tarp, and they eat through wood, and they even, so the last kennel accident I had, the red boy dog ate through her kennel, like bit the wire and peeled it back. Mind you, this is like probably like 12 gauge to 14 gauge wire. It's thick enough that shouldn't be happening, but it did. And I was on the road when it happened. Yeah, well, yeah. Soul said, don't feed them at the tent or get them wet. Hey, so, yeah, man, fact, Big A, you already know firsthand, man, like, these, man, because, hey, you done helped me deal with Hendrix before, man. You already know how these dogs go, man. They crazy as hell, man. Yeah, and to me, that's not a smart dog. It's a brother, man. It's a brother on YouTube called Genuine APBT, y'all. And he talks all about, like, dogs that bite wire. That's not a smart dog, man. Like, a dog that bites wood, wood is soft and it gives. So that they're not going to damage their cutters like that, man. But I don't want no dog that's going to be out there messing up their mouth and biting metal and shit. You know, I want a dog that's going to be pretty and have them cutters if I need them, you know, to put in work. Yeah, hey, busting smooth through that wire there, she Big A. Yeah, man, but hey, that's what it be like, you know. And it's crazy because like I don't even encourage my dogs to do aggressive shit to other dogs. So like when they wreck, when my dogs wreck with each other, man, like it's natural. It's very natural. And some people will hear that and they go, oh man, like I'm like, look, man, like I don't like yard. I like my dogs to look pretty, but them yard accidents be happening, yo. They be happening, and every time I spend money, I'd be like, I got it fixed now, and these motherfuckers, these red boy dogs will break your stuff. Exactly. It's almost like a subsex within the breed. Like, you know, like everything has its own personality. And that's why I think it's great for people to shop around, unless you're trying to like preserve a bloodline or preserve like the purity of the breed. Get a couple different bloodlines, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to breed them to each other. You don't always have to breed dogs just because you got them. The only reason I breed mine is because I'm trying to see the percentages of dogs that are capable of doing protection work and scent work, because that's what I like to do. But after about 2 or 3 generations, and the people who are in there, yes, yesterday's prices ain't today's prices. They damn sure won't be tomorrow's prices. Yeah, I feel you, Tony M. I do feel you, Tony M. But yeah, man. So I'm upgrading on my kennels when I move, y'all. I've seen the way Mr. Martinez. I don't know if y'all follow Martinez Game Dogs and Texas Outlaws. They got the taller pen. My pens is 5 foot, but I need 6 foot, and I'm upgrading to those. But I'm not doing it until I leave here because man, the more stuff I buy now, the more stuff I got to deal with when I'm traveling. Yeah, man. And it's different lines that work for you for different reasons. Like when I need a little bit of gas, what I'll do is I don't have to have a red boy dog in my yard. I'd rather barter and borrow some blood from somebody and say, hey y'all, you got a pure red boy Jocko male, man. Like, what would you charge me for a stud? You know, I'd rather do that now than have a bunch of dogs in my yard, man. I don't think I ever want more than 5 dogs in my yard at a time, period. And I want all of them to have a purpose. I don't just want, like, I don't believe in having 50 dogs in the yard, man. If I got to have 50 dogs to find a good one, I just need to find a better bloodline. Personal opinion. What else on y'all mind, man? Let's chop it up. Let's rap. Let's pontificate. Find a line that works for you, yo. Asiatic Soldier. What are your 3 books that help you help develop me? All right, so your max is 7. So Asiatic Soldier, like the 3 books that help develop me. Can you elaborate? Are you talking about like my personal development or just in the dog? Like what's your what scope are you looking at? Are you looking at, or did you leave it abstract for me to just kind of talk about books in general? And in the meantime, while I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to type that response up, man. But in the meantime, man, I want to talk about a book. And if you're talking about just books in general that help develop me, the first book that I really like that I think every man should read is The 48 Laws of Power. All right, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene is the first, like I'd say, self-help adult book that I ever read in my life. And oh yeah, absolutely, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And for those of y'all who, all right, so I need to tell y'all a story. Believe it or not, Andre Williams is a talkative person, and I love to tell stories. So I need to tell y'all a story about that, but hold that thought. Put a pin in the 48 Laws of Power, and I'll go back to it. All right, so Andre Williams, do I like to read? Yes. Do I have a lot of time to read? No, because I'm always in the move. I'm a really active person, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Specifically, the audiobooks I listen to are on an app called Audible. I subscribe to it. I get 3 free audiobooks a month. And a lot of times when somebody gives me a book to read, I'll download it to Audible, and on my way to work, when I drive to and from work, I'm listening to audiobooks, self-help. And what's crazy about that is, as I'm listening to it when I get to work, I can see it play out. Specifically the 48 Laws of Power and like how to apply them to my coworkers. And like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, do I use people? Yes, and I need to explain that. You can use somebody and you can misuse them. Using somebody is for your and their mutual benefit, in my opinion. That's how I interpret that word use. And then misuse, obviously you maltreat, maltrain, or you treat them with malicious intent. That's misusing a person, right? So using these things, my people are being developed. And those of y'all who follow me on Facebook can see like my people constantly win awards because I use their insecurities to motivate them, and it ends up being a benefit to them. 48 Laws of Power, right? All right, cool. So also with the audiobook thing, I wanted to share why I think audiobooks are fine. Now, mind you, the brain grows more from reading a book. I do understand that. When I have time, I actually have books that I read. The book I'm reading right now is Relentless. It's a book written about the mindset of Kobe Bryant, right? That's the one physical book I have right now that I'm reading. The last book I completed before that was Daring to Lead by Brene Brown. That's also in my room right now. Like, I can share those books with y'all. But I want to share a story with y'all about, what's his name? Microsoft, Bill Gates. So Bill Gates changed my life, and I want to share this story because I think it might change y'all for those of y'all who are listening. So Bill Gates would go, when he got to college, he would go to classes, his classes. Then he would stay back at seminars for the classes that he would need for his junior and senior year of his actual curriculum of study. He would listen to what the teacher said, read the books, and apply the information. Bill Gates dropped out of college because he didn't need the degree. The paperwork didn't matter to him. He had the knowledge, and he created Microsoft. We all know how that went. So after I heard that story, I was like, cool, like, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like knowledge is power. Like they've been telling us that our whole life, but it really matters. Like, it's what you know and who you know. And then if you decide to get the certificate because you have to have it to apply a certain type of knowledge, then that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But Bill Gates is like, I don't need that to be a computer developer. I just need to know what I got to know, right? Hey, so in the chat, y'all put in there The Art of War, Sun Tzu, absolutely. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that's Robert Kiyosaki, read that. Absolutely. The Cannabis Grow Bible by Greg Green. Hey, Tony, I ain't never seen that one. I got to check that one out. Oh, yeah, so back to my brother, Asiatic Soldier. So 48 Laws of Power. I also read this book called Horsing by, what's his name? He's a pimp. I think it's Donald Goins or David Goins. He was a pimp, and he wrote stories about being a pimp or whatever, right? Because believe it or not, man, I feel like we do a bunch of simping nowadays, and that's part of the reason why we in the situation we're in, because there's a bunch of simps in charge. And the simps do not like masculinity whatsoever. So reading a book about pimping or being masculine in its truest form was important to me because all right, I don't have I'm not gonna lie, like street life is street life. Like people do what they do to survive. I don't knock what the next man do to eat, but it does affect other people, man. And I hate the second and third term effects of living a lifestyle like that. I don't like what it does to people, right? But a pimp knows how to manage a woman and lead a woman. You know what I'm saying? Guerrilla pimping, I don't agree with it, but understanding that mindset is important to understand how to deal with people, because the reason why people revere them or people talk about pimps is they're like, man, they do things that other men can't do because they use brain power. They use brain power. Even when they're running their cons, they're thinking constantly. They're always on their toes. You know, pimps and gangsters are like that. Real gangsters, real pimps, right? Not the stuff we see on TV, but like the ones who like did their time and learned from their mistakes. All right. Apply knowledge is power. Absolutely, absolutely soul power. The Book of Five Rings, Richest Man in Babylon. Hey, Big A, I still got to read The Richest Man in Babylon. The Alchemist. So another book I'm reading right now is Will by Will Smith. That's not one of my top 3 though, Soul Brother. So my excuse me, not Soul Brother, not Soul Power. Asiatic Soldier. It's 48 Laws of Power, and for sure Horsing by Donald Goins. The 50th Law is good too. But let me think, because I done. There was honestly, it's called Shook Ones by Charlemagne the God. That book taught me how to deal with mental issues and stuff like that. And it was contemporary, it was new, it was up and coming. So that book meant a lot to me, because that was one of the first audiobooks. My wife and I listened to it together, and it actually improved our relationship, because we learned it, and specifically in the African American community, which is where I live in, so I can speak about it. And like I don't feel like you gotta live it, but like anyways, I feel like that's my credentials in it, is learning like how to deal with mental issues that we just ignore in our community heavily. So that's my top 3: 48 Laws of Power, Horsing, and Shook Ones by Charlemagne the God. Those are my top 3 books that I think were influential in the last 5 years. I also enacted a 5-year plan in 2019, and those books I've read in that 5-year plan, and I've seen exponential growth in my personal life and abilities to cognitively deal with problems after reading those 3 books. All right. Man, bro, y'all dropping dimes in here, man. Like, so what I would like to add in, because like my wife and her friends do it, they share books like this, and they'll challenge each other. They be like, hey man, we're gonna get this book by this date, and we're gonna read this chapter, and we're gonna spill knowledge on this chapter, because different perspectives matter. You know what I'm saying? I get what I want out of information, so do you. So reading the same book, if 4 people read the same book, we might get four different essays or 4 different messages from the same book. Absolutely, Asiatic Soldier. That was a great question, man. Great question. Hey, you know what's crazy? Nobody put in here How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, which is crazy, because like that, and I probably that book would be number 4, because I use those concepts when I deal with people. And I don't know if y'all realize I'm extremely polite, and when I ask questions, I typically don't get upset until I think I understand what's going on. That's by Dale Carnegie. And then you also have a book called A Humble Inquiry, which also tells you how to ask questions and seek information without being offensive. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Like I really appreciate y'all sharing that, man. Because you know, I told y'all in the last 2 episodes ago, I'm a blurred. Like I read, I even watch anime, man. Like you know what I'm saying. I don't watch a lot of anime because I don't watch a lot of TV. But the ones that I do, like I watch it for the lessons that it gives. Facts. Hey, so Tony M, I've been in 13 years, bro. I got 6.5 years left, man. Got 6.5 of them things left. And I plan on settling in Arizona, man. Also, I don't know if y'all know this, but Arizona is one of the biggest dog states still out there. So when we get there, like I've already told my brother Soul, come visit me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do a lot of stuff with the West Coast does way more with their dogs than the East Coast does, in my personal opinion. So like I'm 5 hours from Vegas, y'all. I'm 5 hours from LA. I'll be 2 hours from the Mexican border. So yeah, man, like the Air Force has provided me a lot of opportunity to travel, and I'll share that information with y'all as well. If y'all want to talk about like the military stuff, what I can share lawfully without exposing too much, I'll share it with you. It's my job to keep to maintain the integrity of our national security. So I'm not gonna share anything that I shouldn't be sharing. But yeah, man, if it's hit the news already, man, like we can talk about it. I can't talk about it in uniform, and that's why I don't wear my uniform in most of my videos, because when you wear your uniform and you speak that way, you're considered an ambassador you're ambassading for your branch of service. So typically I don't wear anything military related. I'll share videos of me doing ceremonies, but I don't typically like share like that, because I want to represent me and talk about what my views are. I don't speak for Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam speaks for himself. Hey, so Asiatic Soldier, that's a good question. So honestly, I didn't have a choice. My tour here was up. This is a controlled tour as a drill instructor. So I got a list of jobs. I got a list of bases, and one of them was like Minot, North Dakota. I was like, hell no. One of them was Whiteman. I think that's in like Kansas or somewhere. I was like, no, I need to touch water, or be at least close enough to where I can drive to water. Another base that they offered me was Barksdale. I wanted to go to Louisiana to Barksdale, because I actually enlisted from Louisiana. when I enlisted. I was staying with my sister who was actually stationed there, so I've been to that base before. And then they gave me like South Dakota and then Arizona. And that list, I had to rank them. And then they gave me my number one choice, which was Arizona and Tucson. So that's how I ended up getting Arizona. And like for me, I'm from North Carolina and I wanted to go back east. I always love east, but all my family members there are elderly and passing. And I'm gonna share this information with y'all because y'all in the chat and y'all still rock with me. So I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what my mindset is. My mindset is what I see happening is another Great Depression. What I also see happening is another Great Migration. So what has happened is since the late 60s, early 70s, all the way up to the early 2000s, people had migrated from the South to the cities to try to find wealth or better paying jobs. A lot of those people are either retired now, dying, or moving back to the South, and the price of housing in those lower income areas is going up through gentrification, but also through just like when people are buying these houses, they're buying them at ridiculously high rates right now. So it's raising the cost of living there, i.e. the places where I used to live at, like I talked about before, where I used to live at, you could get a house for $600 a month. Those houses are now $2,000 a month. So like the cost of living doesn't change very much. And the job market is very shallow there because it's more of a retirement community with a lot of land. Also, people with money are buying up all the land. So that's pushing all the people like me out who are working class citizens, that's pushing us out to the cities to go find work where we can afford to live, right? So Tucson and Phoenix offer a lot of jobs for after I retire. So I'll just settle there. Like I said, my grandparents have all passed on. I don't have any living grandparents. And all my family members who are young enough to still come visit me can come visit me, or I can fly in and visit them for family reunions. But the Great Migration is happening, and you can already see it. A lot of people from California actually sold houses during COVID and moved to Phoenix. So like you can see the smaller cities are filling up. So I'm trying to jump on that bandwagon right now and go ahead and establish and put my flag down in a place that I see with growing potential. That's why I think Arizona is the place for me and my family. Also, with my kids getting of age, they'll have better chance of finding jobs than what I did living in a town that had, my home county had one Walmart, no skating rink, no movie theater. So there's no opportunity for kids to work, right? So these are things I'm thinking about big picture. I feel you. I was in the Army at ESCOM. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute Twan Marley. Asiatic soldier, yes, sir. Hey, thank you. Hey, Dickie, hey, you late, but you here, bro. And Dickie, I appreciate you reaching out, man. Thank you so much, Dickie, man. Man, respect, man. You show love to all the Pitbull channels, and I appreciate you. Hey, it's definitely a migration going on. Yes, sir. And this passport bro stuff is big too, y'all. I'm happy and I'm secure in who I am with my family, but like I'm losing a lot of my good brothers to becoming passport bros, yo. I'll tell you right now, the Dominican Republic is a great place to be at right now if you have a passive form of income. Great place to be at. Nah, bro. I'm not working on any gun builds right now, but as soon as I get there, I'm building me an AR-10. We'll be buying me a custom lower with a hair trigger. You know what I'm saying? I want probably a 2-pound trigger pull on there. I fired one of these at the gun range in Eastern North Carolina firing range in Goldsboro. A man had a match grade trigger on there, and it damn near makes the gun automatic because what happens is the reset is like you know, it just taps. So like you have to hold the trigger to the rear after you fire, or you'll just keep tapping, and it'll keep going. Salute to everybody in the chat. Man, respect. I really appreciate everybody getting in this chat, man. Y'all know I don't normally run it this long, but Tony M said run it, so we running it. And y'all steadily coming in here, so we gonna steadily chop it up. I got a question for y'all. Put this in the chat. What is the optimal number of dogs to have on a good yard? Y'all already heard mine. Y'all already heard mine. Hey, facts. So facts. But like now, like so. What I really see is a lot of people who do drop shipping. They'll go to the source, kind of like the Frank Lucas mentality. Hey man, it's not a problem at all, Tony M. I don't mind sitting here and chopping it up with y'all as long as I ain't got too much going on. And the main part of it is just knowing, like, you know, I can't always stay and watch the longer chats, so I don't be wanting to hold y'all up too, man, because I know every dog man got their own life, you know. Yeah, 5 to 7, yeah. It depends on how much land and how much. Help you have. Facts. Facts. So I'm going. So when and I'm glad you said it, Tony, because I'm typically gonna live. The goal for me is at least an acre, and I can do what I need to an acre, you know. But for me, 5 to 7 is good. 5 is perfect to me because I think of like, so my idea of perfect right now is Saki, an offspring of Saki, and then a whole litter, you know, or 3 out of that next litter. That's my yard. And then, you know what I'm saying, like rotating through, and maybe the like that 6th and 7th dog, bringing them back in loosely line bred, but keeping my stuff tight. That's my opinion of a good yard. 5 to 10 is fine. For me also, the training aspect of it, having that many dogs, I'm not gonna be able to give them the attention I want to give them for them to be as well behaved as and be able to compete at the level I want them to compete at. That's another reason why I like a small yard. But I also need enough that, like, yard accidents happen, I need enough dogs around. If I have something stupid happens and I lose a dog, I can recover from that with the same blood or the blood that I like to use. Because it's getting, like, honestly, like now, I wouldn't have been so pressed to find blood because, like, a lot of y'all good brothers actually have great dogs, and y'all actually share them on y'all YouTube channels, so I can see them and know, like, what I'm getting ahead of time. So but when I was looking for a dog back in 2017, 2018, that wasn't available, so I couldn't. I was just pressed to find a dog and be able to hold on to them, like, you know, for dear life. So I become really, like, I ain't gonna say kennel blind, because that's not the case by any means, but really, really, like, big on, like, putting some blood out there so I can touch it again if I need to. Asiatic Soldier said he don't want no big yard. I don't blame you, big dog. I don't blame you. You know what I mean? Because to me, big yards just draw attention from the police. They go, why do you got so many dogs? You must be a dog fighter, man. I don't need nobody in my business, man. Tony M, can you elaborate on that a little bit, big dog? You said, I think also a difference between an established breed versus developing a breed like American Bully. So how I interpret that is, like, for breeds that are developing, you would want more, so you have more variety to pick from and get the breedings right. Whereas when you have a breed like ours that is pretty established, you could afford to have less dogs. Am I interpreting that correctly? Yes, sir. We cooking up this morning, y'all. We cooking up. Yes, 5 to 7 is good, my brother. 5 to 7 is good with a young family. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I could see 10, but I would hire a yard hand. Typically, like a kid like me who couldn't get a job. My I told y'all Mr. KP hired me on, and he hired me on, and he, like, you know, he let me clean up behind the dog. So I learned a lot just from working in his yard. So he ain't pay me that much, you know, $25 a week. But back then, you know, as a kid, like, I'm talking about, like, sub double digits kid. $25 was enough to buy all the candy I wanted and not get in trouble, you know, for having too much money. You know, caught me a little nickel bag or whatever, do what I do. Yes. Okay, Tony M. All right. Yes, an American Bully, you may have to constantly breed out the flaws and sometimes health issues and different, yes, phenos, absolutely. Yeah, 10 would be pushing the Asiatic Soldier, absolutely. Yeah, y'all. Man, this has been a dope live, man. I tell y'all what, is there a better time? Because I was talking to my wife about this. Is there a better time of the day for these lives to happen at? Because right now, like, I don't go back to work full time until April 29th. I'm on paternity leave because, like I said, I had a kid last year and I had to burn the leave up before my year ran out. So is there a better time to go live on the Wednesday morning lives? I did the coffee talk because it's really, like, right after I feed the dogs, but right before I start my day. That's why I picked 8 o'clock. But if there's a better time for y'all, like, y'all let me know, because honestly, like, it's the more people we get in here, the more ideas we can trade. Big A, 4 dogs. So how many males and females in Big A? And I'm calling you out, you my brother, but I'm calling you out. How many males? How many? One male. So because I've seen a male get killed by a female on the yard before. So if you only got one of one gender and it get taken up out of there, man, that's rough. That's why I want at least 2 males, at least two of each. So my brother Soul said, how many litters a year is too much to have? All right. And this is for the chat, but also for those y'all who listening who can't actually get in the chat, that's a good question. For me, I don't even breed unless I need another. Like this litter I bred, I needed a female to step in because Bacardi's been bred twice already, and I skipped a year between each breeding, right? So Bacardi might have, you know what I'm saying, like you can breed a dog all the way up to like, you know, till she start producing eggs, but I don't believe in like just beating the shit out of my dog just to get that done. I knew you was gonna say that, bruh. I knew you was gonna say one stud. I'm telling you, and Big A, you know personally, man. Like Drake, like man, I be super sensitive about these yard accidents. So now yeah, I feel you. I got what you meant. The 1 male, 3 females. All right, and then yeah, that's cool. But I'm just man, stuff happens, bro. Stuff happens, man. He get bit by a snake or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I like to have one backup. And one backup bred very closely, i.e. like a son or a daughter directly off of whatever it is I'm trying to reproduce. But yeah, man, that's a dangerous game for me, bro. That's a dangerous game for me right there. Another question, and this kind of coincides with Brother Soul's question. How many litters a year is too much? How many litters a year can you handle? And do you have a network where those puppies that you cannot keep, if you decide not to keep them and you decide not to cull them, do you have a network where you can get those puppies to the homes where they can be taken care of? Growing up, man, I knew people that would drown. They would drown whatever they didn't keep off the litter. They would just drown them. They weren't selling nothing. I mean, I respect that level of dedication to the game, man. I really do. That's just not. I don't want to do that. Man, I don't think the snake repellents work at all down here in Texas, man. Between snakes and scorpions, bro. I think it's just like wherever their prey is at is where the snake's gonna be. So like if you see a bunch like I got a crap ton of squirrels living here now, and I told y'all, man, y'all seen that video where I killed that squirrel and skinned it. I was harvesting only the males. You know what I mean? And it's at least 4 squirrels that I just seen run off my porch yesterday. And you know they attract everything from cats to snakes to everything. Try to eat squirrels and little animals like that, man. And so I really believe to answer that question about the snake repellents, I don't think you're gonna repel them as long as their prey is in the area. They're gonna go after their prey. A good question. Asiatic Soldier said, how is it in the southern states dealing with snakes, etc.? And then he hit up Brother Soul. And then Melvin Harper says for the chat, how soon would you begin breeding a female? Let's see where everyone's head is at. That's a good ass question, brother Melvin. So I have bred at the 2-year mark, the earliest. Honestly, in the future, I'm looking at 3 to 4 years old before I even think about it. So the growth plates are completely hardened up. That's ideally. I was on a mission when I did it, and I had a purpose for the breeding. That's the only reason I did it. But nah, man, 3 to 4 years, because honestly, full maturity is about 3.5 years old, man. That's the guidance I've been reading, and that's what I follow. 3.5 to 4 years old is of age, personally. And then follow-up question to Tony M, 100%. Big A says, South Texas, snakes, tarantulas, and scorpions. Oh my. Yeah, for sure. So being from the Carolinas, we have snakes, but I live near a water. Like I stayed not too far from Wilmington. So when you live near water, you have a lot of cottonmouths and a lot of copperheads. in like the marshy, like pine forest of the Carolinas. Down here, there's a little bit more like rattlesnake. I actually had a coworker who lives in an apartment complex here, and her little Shih Tzu got bit by a rattlesnake. It almost took him up out of here too. And Melvin says, this is Melvin's follow-up for his breeding question. I've done it sooner, but my experience is it won't breathe until, I won't breed one until she's almost, okay. 3.5, all right, that makes sense. 2.5 to 3 years old, all right. Tony, I'm 2 years, but I've had females that can still act like a puppy. Yeah. You know what? Tony, I appreciate it because I didn't take a maturity into it. Like those numbers, when people give you numbers for weight or for ages of dogs, that is a generalization based upon what they've seen. That's like the law of averages. But some people are at the high end of the average, and some people are at the low end of the average. So like that's a very good perspective. And then Melvin hit up, I won't breed till she's almost 3. Yep. Big A, shout out to Big A. He said, me, personally, I won't breed my female until she's fully developed between 3 and 4. But if need be, I'll do it at 2 years old. Asiatic Soldier said, what are your recommendations for parts of NC or SC to relocate to, come from New Jersey? All right, so I'm going to tell you the truth. What I see is people who move from Jersey, New York, and Maryland, or DMV, Maryland, they move to 1 of 3 locations, typically in North Carolina. The first one is Charlotte, because you will still get that metro feel, but you're still in the South. You can drive an hour out and be in the mountains, or you can drive an hour out and be in, you know what I'm saying, like the pine forest, and you can do all this, like all the country stuff, but still have the amenities of a city in Charlotte and the surrounding areas, right? Second place I see people from the city move to is Raleigh. It's the state capital. I don't rock with Raleigh because Durham County is the only county in North Carolina where carrying a weapon is illegal. And they also have the highest crime rate. So I don't know if that correlation matters or not, but you can't legally carry a firearm there, and they have the highest crime rate. So do what you want to with that information. The third place a lot of people from the city live at, and all my homeboys from Maryland live at, is Fayetteville, because Fayetteville it's a grungy, small little. Y'all would call it a town if you're from the city, but I call it a city. You know what I'm saying? It has all the amenities of a city. You have malls, you have places to go to. They actually have shows at the Coliseum, so it has a lot of things to do. Those are the big 3. One place I will tell you, if you're from the city not to move to, because I see a lot of people from the city move there and end up missing, is Lumberton, North Carolina. I'm gonna do a whole episode about Lumberton, North Carolina. That's where I was born. I live in Bladenboro, but I was born in Lumberton, and Lumberton has a whole lot of shit with it. Matter of fact, do me a favor. Go on YouTube and look at the worst cities live in North Carolina, and almost every one of them has Lumberton as number 1. Lumberton is the murder capital of North Carolina, by the way. All right? It's not the big cities. It's the small towns. And I seen somebody post this in another chat, but it's a true story. Where I'm from, they will kill you and feed you to the hogs, and then people will never find you. I shit you not. All right? And that's not a threat. That's just to tell you like how it was done where I grew up. Like, somebody went missing, like we knew to kill a hog fast and gut it and see what was in the intestines of that hog. That's what you had to do back in the day. But yeah, the 3 cities, Charlotte, Raleigh, Fayetteville. Those right there I can recommend to you because all my friends who are from the city, that's where they end up migrating to once we graduated high school. Because that made them feel more like where they were from. All right. And then so moving along there. For Melvin, he said, if she makes the cut, definitely. So they got to make the cut. They have to live. Your dog should always live up to your standard before they're being bred. Because if they don't even make your standard, how they gonna make somebody else's standard? You say you like an SC in Kentucky. Yeah, if I had to pick one, I would pick South Carolina over North Carolina for living. But for commerce and business, I would run my business in North Carolina. So I would live closer to the state line, like I did, and I would do my business in North Carolina because the cost of living in North Carolina is higher. But also the profit margins are higher in North Carolina. Yeah, Concord is another good one too, man. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Tony M said he has multiple females too, and those he's never be on schedule. My females synced up, and man, that's when the yard accidents happen. Because they be trying to get out and get to the males, and see each other and forget they in heat. Yeah, man, no problem, bro. Yeah, Lumberton, NC, man, I'm telling you right now, I don't recommend that to nobody, bro. I was there when Hurricane Matthew broke out and the dam broke and the whole south side got flooded. So them houses over there is trash too, by the way. The underpit, like, man, if it's got a basement, don't live there. I guarantee it's got black mold. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Yep. That remains thing, bro, that's a real thing, bro. Like, that's something I knew before I seen it on the internet. That was just, like, that's why we were so nice to each other back home because, man, you go missing. And, like, it's prior to 2009 when camera phones, like, actually I say 2005, camera phones really took off like that. I had the audio box, little silver audio box with the blue thing on it. That was the first camera phones they had. And it was grainy as hell. But, like, prior to that, when there was a way to quickly, like, document, like, crimes happening, man, like, it was where I'm from, it was the Wild Wild West. There's no traffic cams. There's 2 stoplights in the whole town. There's more cattle and pigs than there are people in the county. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. Like, you had to be, like, if you weren't nice, you could go missing and nobody, like, everybody knew you. So the only reason it would be found out is if somebody happened to see it when it happened. But yeah, man, that's a big thing, man. Yeah, it's crazy. I just heard about that. Yep. And then he said, any tips to get a Jip to go in the heat? Lady has an irregular heat cycle. I've seen him sync up soul power. And also, I owe you 2 pieces of information. But my partner showed me a pill you can give them that help me get my dogs to go in the heat when I wanted to heat. Back when I did my first breeding ever. But I haven't used it since then because after that, they've been regulated quite consistently. Asiatic Soldier said, yeah, I think a lot of us from up north should be educated on what spots to stay away from. And see, to me, it's common knowledge, so I don't even talk about it. You know, it don't even register to me that that's something that people might want to know about. So thank you for asking that question. It makes me aware. So yeah, y'all, it is currently 9:42. And like I said, my vet clinic is open now. They've been open since 9 o'clock. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. This has been probably my favorite live so far because it's been so active. But like I said, y'all hit me up offline at samuraikennels@gmail.com. You can also hit me at samuraikennels@icloud.com. If you have an iPhone, you can send me iMessages. You know what I'm saying? We can chop it up like that. Oh, Martinez, what's good, bro? I gave you a shout out talking about your yard, man. You got one of the best setups. Martinez, we about to get up out of here, bro. But y'all boys, I really appreciated this chat, man. This chat was really, really dope. Really, really dope. And this is the way I want to rock with it from now on. Hey, Tony, thank you for the advice, man. I really appreciate you. Melvin, stay by your phone because as soon as I shut this down, I'm giving you a holler. But yeah, Brother Martinez, man, like your husbandry is second to none, bro. Keep working that dog, man. I hope you do well in that show. Tony M, peace and blessings, my brother. Peace and blessings to everybody in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all stay healthy, stay safe. If you can carry a firearm, educate yourself on firearm safety. If you got a dog and you take it in public, make sure you got your break stick, man. Take care of each other and make sure we take care of the fraternity. This has been a Samurai Kennels Live. Make sure y'all like, follow, and subscribe. We over and out.